Today we're going to talk about what does a business broker do. So who's a business broker and what do they do? Essentially, business brokers help connect buyers and sellers of businesses. So think of them as an intermediary or a bridge between the buyer of a business and the seller of a business. So being that bridge allows both sellers and buyers to take the emotion out of what would be normally considered a business decision. So there's two sides to every transaction. There's a sales side, there's going to be the seller of the business, and there's a purchase side, the buyer of the business. So on the sales side, a business broker will really sit down with the business owner and help prepare the business for sale. So businesses are in the business of running their business every day to achieve maximum profits. They are not in the business of running their business to achieve the profits necessary to obtain the valuation they want when they sell their business. So sometimes finances can be messy, sometimes inventory management may not be on point. So a business broker will sit down and look at all these points and determine, is this business ready for sale or not? If it's ready for sale, great, you can move forward with the next steps. If it's not ready for sale, they can point at certain things and give suggestions on how you can basically tie up loose ends of a business in order to make it ready for sale. There's a lot of other things to consider too. Can you, as a business owner, legally sell that business? Are you the sole owner? Are you in a partnership with somebody? Does that partner want to sell the business? Are you getting a divorce and your spouse wants to sell the business, but you don't? There's lots of stakeholders in businesses that owners may not consider. If it's a family-owned business, each person owns a fourth or a third of the business. Everybody has to agree not only to sell the business, they have to agree on the sales price and what needs to be done in order to get the business ready for sale. They have to agree on who the buyer is going to be. Some owners may not want to sell to certain buyers. They may not want to sell to a big name buyer. They may only want to sell to another owner that would run it just like them. So there's lots of things to consider with all the stakeholders in the business. So the business broker will help you sit down, evaluate that, and figure out what's going to work best for you and your other stakeholders in your business. A lot of business brokers are also licensed realtors. So it depends by the state that you're in if a business broker has to be a licensed realtor, but in any state, you have to be a licensed realtor in order to sell land or a building, anything real estate related. So a lot of business brokers are real estate agents as well. Where this comes into play is a lot of businesses, they're leasing a property or if they own a property, somehow that lease has to transfer and the ownership of the land or the building or the fixtures, those all have to transfer as well. In order to get that done, as a real estate agent, that business broker can help move that transaction, takes one less party out of the deal, one less vendor out of the deal to help make sure that there's a smooth process. A lot of other things to consider too. One of the biggest things you need to do when you sell your business is figure out what an appropriate valuation of your business is. You have to have the right people to value your business. They have to be looking at all of the correct financials, and they have to understand the market in which you live and the type of business that it is. The valuation of a licensed service contractor like an HVAC or plumbing business is going to be completely different than, let's say, an agricultural business like a plant or a nursery or a garden shop of some sort. It's also going to be valued differently than a restaurant, which will be valued differently than a retail store. So each type of business is going to have a very specific way that it's valued based on what type of industry the business is in. So you need to have the right valuators to do that. Good business brokers can give you basically an opinion of what the business would sell for, but since they're not valuators, they're not going to give you an actual appraisal. They can't give you an actual appraisal or an actual valuation. It's essentially just their opinion of what they think that business would sell for based on the information they have. So valuations are important, so important. I'll do another video on them. I could probably do 20 videos on the importance of valuations and how they're done. Those will be in later videos, but they can help connect you with the right valuators for your specific type of business. They will also connect you with attorneys and CPAs that are specific to business sales and business purchases. I'm sure your CPA is great. I'm sure your business attorney is great. But there are attorneys and CPAs that specialize. Their complete niche is people that are buying and selling businesses, because there are different tax matters and there are different legal matters for business owners that are buying and selling businesses that your CPA or your attorney may be familiar with, but they're not so deeply familiar with that they can advise you to the full extent that you would need in order to make it the most profitable sale, so you don't come on the back end and you owe taxes you didn't know you would owe, or the tax paperwork wasn't structured properly for the sale, and either the buyer or the seller now owes a bunch of tax that they did not take into account for because they didn't realize it was an issue. Same thing on the legal side. There could be some legal issues, most notably liability. So business sale and business purchase attorneys know what types of liabilities that sellers and buyers can walk into and not even be aware of. So that's why it's important to have the right set of niche attorneys that know exactly what they're doing when it comes specific to business sales and purchases. So a business broker will connect you with very experienced people that will handle all those issues for you. Overall, business brokers will help a client, a seller, or a purchaser know what to expect during the entire process so that there are no surprises. They're going to use their years of experience and their many multiple deals that they've done to be able to say, here's what I've seen in the past happen, so I want to prepare you for it just in case it does happen. So there's no big surprises, there's no big emotional decisions that have to be made that aren't well prepared for ahead of time. So some owners of businesses feel that they can sell their business themselves. They have a key employee they know they want to sell the business to, or somebody has approached them and said, hey, we want to buy your business from you. It could be a big company, or it could be a competitor that walks in and says, we'd like to buy your business from you. You think it's going to be an easy transaction. You write out some paperwork, you sign what their attorney gives you, or you have an attorney that is not experienced in actual business sales and purchases help you. You can walk into a whole host of issues that can really have detrimental effects on the finances of your business. It can have detrimental effects to the continued success of your business. Confidentiality is one of the biggest things business brokers can offer you. Business brokers, the good ones, will keep all of your information confidential. They will properly screen interested buyers if you're selling a business. They will also properly screen sellers of businesses to make sure all the right steps have been taken to get to the sale. That as a buyer, you're not going to get to the closing table and all of a sudden there is a partner or an ex-wife that backs out of the deal, didn't know what was going on, never agreed with the sales price, never agreed with the portion that they were going to receive. So a business broker is going to help stop those issues before they happen. They'll be able to advise you as a business owner on the importance of confidentiality, not with only who you're selling the business to, so interested parties. They have to be financially screened and they have to be business screened from a sense, an experience screen, that they have to know what's going on with that type of business. They're not just a tire kicker of the business. So there's a lot of things that business brokers will do to help you when it comes to confidentiality. That also includes employees. I know your employees of many small businesses are like friends and family to you, but it's always important to keep them out of the mix until the sale has happened. At the end of the day, your employees need to take care of themselves. If they feel that the business is going to be sold to somebody that they don't trust, they're going to leave your company. If for some reason that sale doesn't come through and you have key employees that have left your company and have gone on to other industries or possibly even a competitor, that can be detrimental to the continued financial success of your business. And if that happens and the sale doesn't go through, you just lost 3 of your key employees because you wanted to tell them ahead of time that, listen, I want you guys to prepare. I'm going to sell the business. And it doesn't work out well when that happens. So business brokers can advise you on the importance of confidentiality. So business brokers help you remove emotion from a very, very important business decision. What do I mean by that? When you're involved in the sale of a business that you've been building and growing and nurturing for the last 7, 10, 15, 30, 40 years, the decisions you make with how you sell it, who you sell it to, what you do with the employees, how you work things, that can all get very emotional. Sometimes emotional issues can overtake logical issues. So you never want to have emotion take over logic, because that's just a recipe for disaster. So outside of business sales and purchases, business brokers can help with what we call exit planning. You're not ready to sell your business as a business owner, but probably sometime in the next 5, 10, maybe even 15 years, you have goals that when your kids graduate high school, when they graduate college, when they get married, whatever your life goals are, when you turn a certain age, you want to retire, you have to have exit planning in place. And this can even be you have no intention of selling the business in the next 20 years. You're younger, you understand that you want to work this business all the way through to your retirement age, you're experienced enough, you've had enough financial success that that's what you're going to do. What happens if something happens to you? Maybe you get sick, maybe you're involved in an accident and you're hospitalized for an extended period of time. God forbid you might pass away. And no longer be around to run the business. Maybe you have to step outside of the business to care for another family member that has had one of those unfortunate life circumstances happen to them. Whether it's sickness, it could be divorce, it could be a serious health issue with another family member that you have to stop exactly what you're doing right now and handle that for the next 3, 6, 8 months, 2 years. You never know what's going to happen. So you have to have exit planning in place. A business broker can sit down, walk you through what that exit planning looks like. Who's going to take over for you? What decisions will they be making? How will they be making those decisions? Are they going to have any advisors that they need to listen to? You need to have all these things down in writing so that people moving forward with your business can understand and keep your business going as you intended to. You don't want your business to fall apart just because you or a loved one has an unfortunate life circumstance and you have to walk away from the business. You need to have an exit plan in place to provide for you, your family, your other family members, and all of your employees. All of your employees rely on you as a business owner for their sole means of income. And so when you sign the front of checks as a business owner, you owe it to your employees that if something happens to you or you need to step away from the business, that business has to continue running seamlessly. So exit planning is very, very important. It's no different than having a will, having a trust set up for your children. You have to have things in place in order for your business to move forward. So as business brokers, we can advise you on things like that, what to consider, things you may not have ever considered before. And it could be even if you have to step away from the business for 3 months, you need to have a 3-month exit plan. You need to have a 6-month, you need to have a 5-year. What is going to happen if you need to step away or you need to completely walk away from the business? Do you have steps in place that you can remove yourself from the business, and the next day, the people you've appointed with a very, very short spin-up time can take over and run the business as you intended to make sure the business survives and the employees and those that rely on the financial profitability of the business to live. So that's a very, very important thing that outside of sales and outside of purchases that business brokers can help advise you on. So we've talked about a lot today. We've talked about a lot of things that a business broker can do for you as a business owner, or as somebody that wants to add on to your business by purchasing another business, or somebody that's maybe you want to get into business for the first time. You've either retired from a corporate job and you're looking forward to working for yourself in your own business, And maybe you're just tired of working for somebody else and you're ready to do your own thing. You've gained enough experience, you have enough passion in an industry that you're ready to move forward. So I would always suggest consulting a business broker that is very familiar with your situation, with your specific area of the country, state, town that you're in, for important advice when it comes to many things, whether you're buying, selling, or just running your business. So hopefully you found all the information we've discussed today helpful, whether you're looking to buy a business, sell a business, or you just want to continue running your business. Look forward to more content from me. My name is Steve Remy with Mavic Business Advisors.